Bless it. They're all good things. See, she just comes back. We didn't have to do anything. What you're looking for is her to start paying more attention. See, she's that way. Ready? Watch. Becky, this way. Good. So I'll just push the button, say Becky this way, and as soon as she comes this way, that's your informal recall.
I must admit, when we've been over the, and been walking along with her, when she is on the lead, and we're walking like she's 3, you know, leaving us on the lead, I do actually say, when they'll come, come this way, she comes, and then we sort of make a bit of fun of it. And
yeah, well, so you've actually got ahead of the game because she already understands what that means. So now all we're doing is layering over the e-collar.
Yeah.
But look, if you go back and watch, well, obviously you know Becky well, she's your dog. If you go back and watch her, when we done the very first, she was just wired all over the place.
Yeah.
But it's been 2-3 weeks of you just conditioning her every single day.
Yeah.
Leading up to this point, she's checking in with you. What you're looking for is this, okay? So we're going to go that way. We're not going to say anything. What you're looking for is her just to start paying attention to us. I mean, you have the option to say something if you want, but I just want to say, look, she's coming. She's starting to be more aware of where we are, and not what's there. She's more in tune. But look, the e-collar hasn't dampened her spirits. All it's done is actually help her relax. Her tail's in a lovely position. She's still having off-lead freedom, so I'm going to push it now. Becky, this way. Yeah. So you're going to be working a lot more on your informal recall. And we're on an 11.
Oh, right.
Obviously her working level in the house is a 7, but you're always going to have levels a few levels higher when you come outside.
Yeah.
So don't get just stuck on one level. Obviously, if you're out in a week and you start telling me you're on 70, then we're gonna have a problem.
Yeah.
But it's very common because obviously her working level is the lowest level of the collar that she responds to. That doesn't cause her any pain or discomfort. That's a 7. When did you start to feel this?
I think 2 days ago I changed it to a 7.
No, when did you start? You personally, as a human being.
Yeah, what?
When did you recognise the collar?
I think I was about 13.
Yeah, 13. So she's on an 11. 4 levels higher than her working level, but that's still incredibly low.
Yeah.
Like I said, my Rottweiler's outside working levels are 12 when there's distractions going on.
Yeah.
She's an 8 when there's nothing going on, so she's 4 levels higher when she's outside.
Yeah.
But the difference between 7 and 11 are next to nothing. Human wouldn't even recognise it. Most humans don't even feel it till about 15 onwards.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a wuss, I feel it on 13. But it's only like an ever so slight tingle. I think we had a 9-year-old try it the other day, and even he was tougher than me. Becky, come. Yes! Sit. A little scratch. Break. Yeah, so she's understanding that very, very well. So look, she's going that way. You want her to come this way. Becky, this way. Yeah. Check you out. Check it. That is e-collar training. Happy dog, not shutting down, not in pain. Level 11. And I urge most people to go out that don't know what an e-collar is. Buy a mini educator, the only e-collars that we use.
Yep.
Try level 11 on yourself, and then really have an open mind.
I think that is what it is more than anything else, because you just said that a couple of times, like with her prong collar, you worry about that, and then, but as you said, I've got so much more control with that collar, and the same with the e-collar. And you think, oh no, you say she's going to go. Oh.
Yeah, because again, people call them shock collars, and they're not shock collars. It stands for electronic remote device.
Yeah.
And of course, there are some really barbaric models. I mean, I've got a video, good e-collar versus bad e-collar, on my page, and we filmed it live. And Nikki, you know Nikki well, Nikki was my test subject, and we got like this e-collar that looked like it was from the 80s or something like that. Looked like a car battery. It had 2 little crocodile clips to charge it, and he tried that on himself. I didn't want to try it on myself. I didn't. And then we compared it to the mini educated e-collars that we use. That cheap one, well, it wasn't actually a cheap one, it was actually quite an expensive one, but that model left bruises on his arm. And this is where the problem lies. Okay, the problem lies with lack of knowledge Or you get a lot of idiot dog trainers that are against e-collars, and what they'll do is they'll go out and they'll buy the cheapest e-collar and they'll stick it on themselves to make their point. They never go out and buy a £200 e-collar from E-Collar Technologies, a mini educator. They never ever go out and try one of them on themselves.
No.
And of course the other people that have never felt an e-collar just don't understand, and because people call them shock collars, they think you're shocking a dog.
Exactly.
But Becky, this way. Communication. Good. So I'll push the button the whole time there, and it'd be very difficult to see anything. And this is my argument, and this is where people struggle to argue against it. Dogs don't lie, okay?
Yeah.
So dogs aren't clever enough to fake body language. So if they're in pain, they can't fake a happy tail wag, everything like that. Dogs you can force a dog to listen to you through pain, but the body language won't lie. See, look, her tail's wagging, she's off exploring. That is a positive body language. She responds very positively to the e-collar. That's not a dog that's in pain.
No.
So Becky will tell you the truth. So when people go e-collars are bad, talk to Becky. Because she certainly doesn't think they're bad. Look, she's a dog. She's gone from having to be confined to her lead, and check back on Becky's first video.
Yeah.
Because she was all over the place. I had to really adapt the way I condition a dog because she was just wired.
Yeah.
And now look at her. It's not about making a robot dog. It's about giving her freedom. And this is more freedom than I've ever seen Becky. No one's holding her lead. And we're not calling her every 30 seconds.
No.
We're letting her be a dog. See, look, we're going to go this way. Becky, this way. Good. I didn't use the e-collar that time. Do you remember what I said about the patterns? Random. E-collar with reward. E-collar no reward. No e-collar reward. And no e-collar no reward.
And as you say, you know then she's responding to...
Yeah, because you don't want her to always respond to the e-collar. So sometimes you want to call her without the aid of the e-collar to see if she does respond. And then of course if she doesn't listen, then use the e-collar to prompt it. But that's how you prevent her from being collar smart.
Yeah.
So I'm going to call her without using the e-collar. Becky, come. Yes. Sit. Break. See, no e-collar that time. So that tells me that she's really understanding. But when we took her out on day one on that walking train, I thought there's no way I can let this dog off her lead. Not because she's going to do anything aggressively, but she was just so hyped up, and there's no way on God's green earth she would have listened to you.
No, oh no.
You would have had to physically grab hold of her to get her.
Yep.
So e-collar time? Nope, nope, no need. She's naturally following us. That's what we're looking for. So see, when we stop, she just stops and stays close to us. See, she hasn't realised that we've stopped yet. But she should check back in a second and realise, oh, actually no one's following me. Whereas before she'd be off at like 100 miles an hour. But look, she's got boundaries now. She knows where we are because she can focus more, whereas before she couldn't. Oh, proud of you, girl. Does she like water? There's some lakes nearby. Let's try and get her in the lakes. Does she like lakes?
I haven't really sort of tried on
No,
a
let's
lake,
go and
why
find
not?
it. I do apologise in advance because one of them is a stinky lake.
Right.
Becky, this way. Good. Have you used the e-collar that time? I'm just keeping it random.
But as you say, like, not being funny, I don't even notice you using the e-collar and not using it. There's no...
That is the point.
Yeah.
If you see the dog jumping up in the air, shaking their head,
Yeah.
it's too high. Turn it down. Let the dog tell you the story. Yes, sometimes you do have to use high levels. We do use it to correct the dog.
Yeah.
We will use levels higher than what the dog normally uses.
Yeah.
And also we'll use higher levels in emergency situations, but we only ever use those higher levels once the dog fully understands the language of the e-collar. And when we do use the higher levels, it's only 1/16 of a second. It's not continuous. It's 1/16 straight to the point, and it works. But when I talk about higher levels, I only talk about pretty much double what she's used to.
Yeah.
So like she's on 11 at the minute.
Well, so meant to pick up to 100, can't
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, but I've never in my life had to use
but it
100.
shows how...
The highest I've ever used,
yeah.
right, I'll tell you, the highest I've ever used, and everybody knows Daisy, and seen Daisy in the videos, and anybody who does know Daisy, can never say that that's got a love dog. I mean, she's travelled all over the country with me. The highest I've ever used was 75. And that was Daisy was running towards, let's go down, it's behind me. Daisy saw a rabbit and was running towards the main road after the rabbit.
That's what I'm saying.
I started, Becky, this way. Can I no longer see you, girl? This way. Good. Here she comes. See? Yeah. So she was running towards the main road, so I started using her normal levels, but she wasn't listening, so I hit her with a boost button, and her boost is set to +50 because she's a very thick-skinned, very stubborn dog. She did yelp, right? But it was 1/16 of a second. But because she understood what the e-collar was, she come flying back to me.
Yeah.
And some people might say that's bad, but in my opinion, I would much rather have done that for 1/16 of a second and saved her life than her getting hit by a car or something like that. And then, of course, what you do, you hold it on a continuous, you tap the black button, that jumps to +50 for 1/16 of a second. But it's 1/16 of a second. As soon as your finger comes off of it, it's back on her original level. Okay? But that was an emergency situation. That's the highest I've ever had to go up to, and that was 75.
Well, as you said, I'd rather do it that than have to run out in the road.
Yeah, because there's no coming back from death.
Nope.
1/16 of a second, minor discomfort. And even if you feel 75 on yourself, it's not pleasant, but it doesn't hurt, it's more of a jolt.
Yeah.
But that is, I'm talking emergency situations, and that's where the e-collar comes in handy. The whole time we've been out with Becky, we've not had to go above level 11. She's responding to that perfectly. 11 seems to be the ideal outdoor working level for Becky. It might fluctuate a couple of levels when we start adding in dogs.
Yeah, exactly.
You want to go in the water, Becky? But again, the dog tells you the story.
Yeah.
The number itself isn't so much important. It's the number that the dog is comfortable with. So when you go into your back garden, see that Becky's exploring. When you go into your back garden, 11s might be too high for her because there's no distractions whatsoever. So you'll go back down to her indoor working.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
And of course, when you're adding dogs, she may be a 13, a 14 or a 15. Something like that.
Yeah.
She shouldn't be higher than that.
Yeah.
Right? But again, let Becky tell you the story. So if you're doing it and she's shaking her head, you're seeing over exaggerations, turn it down a little bit. It's common sense.
Yeah.
To call her. Let's call her to you.
Becky, come.
Yes. Look at that. So proud of you, girl. Yeah, so let Becky tell you the story. Becky will tell you when it's getting uncomfortable for her.
Yeah.
Okay? So don't go, oh, I'm on a 15 and think that's high.
Yeah.
It's only high if Becky's letting you know it's high. Okay? If Becky's responding the way she is now, on an 11, on a 15 when there's dogs around, that is perfect. If Becky's responding like it's causing her a lot of discomfort, turn it down. Let Becky tell you the story.
As I said, she's there. As I said, like when you're using it, I don't really even know.
Because every dog is different.
Yeah.
They are. Every dog is different. For instance, Sammy, my staff, is one of the biggest wusses I've ever seen. She's a level 2.
Oh shit.
Yeah, a level 2. She's one of the lowest dogs, and if she, under distractions, we go to a 4 or 5, and that's enough. So every dog is different. I've got Chihuahuas that have a higher working level than Sammy. So it's not breed specific. It's not nothing to do with the breed, nothing to do with the age of the dog, nothing to do with anything like that. It's the individual dog. Just like people, everybody's got different tolerances. Everybody recognises and perceives things differently. Okay, so let Becky tell you the story. So we're going to go back this way. Becky, this way. Yeah. Again, no e-collar that time, so we're just keeping it random.
Yeah.
So today Becky's learning formal and informal recalls. Formal recall is come all the way back to you. That's what you have been practicing. That's where you're going to randomly start doing it. So every now and again you'll call her without the e-collar and give her a reward, and then every now and again you'll call her with the e-collar. And the informal recall is just, Becky, this way. Just pay attention to which way I'm going and keep following me in that direction. Doesn't come back, she doesn't get a reward, it's just, hey, look.
I'm this way.
Yeah.
When I'm walking along with her, say on the lead to hill, if she goes to pull again, should I just quickly do that what you said?
Yeah, you can start to layer it over a hill work as well.
Okay.
So, you know we taught you about leash pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you take the phone a second.